So, in other words, like our deepest motivation is actually to change and grow. So, the light is constantly seeking to fulfill that impulse to God. And God's greatest invitation to us is to grow and to change and become like something greater than we are. And so that essentially sets the light up like in opposition to the ego, or perhaps in the role of like a wise elder to the very young screaming ego of a child. And so, like, as a parent, of course, like it's definitely bedtime, right? It's that time. If you go to bed now, you're going to have a good day tomorrow. We're all going to have a good day tomorrow. Going to bed is essential. You have to grow. That's where whatever you tell your kids. But the child may be like screaming at you and saying, like, no, I want to play more. I hear that a lot. I don't want to go to bed. And similarly, the light of God may be strongly inviting you to like go do that healing session or get that healing session, or like reach out to that wise person in your life. But there is something inside of you that is like really nudging you in that direction. And then there's the ego that's like, no, 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 sound familiar? Anyone? Me? So one thing that we have to really come to understand is that on the spiritual path, there is an inherent opposition. And we need to like recognize and learn to recognize the ego's impulses for exactly what they are. And they are misguided when it comes to our higher development. They are like very well intentioned, but they're just very ill suited to our actual higher progression and the matters of like the soul and the spirit, and even of like the emotional body and like best interests of the overall being. And if you think about like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like the ego is very well suited to that lower part of the hierarchy. But as we go higher and higher, the ego becomes less and less well suited to addressing those needs. So therefore, like the work of working with the ego, like, and figuring out like how to address ego is very important for the spiritual seeker, because we like have to be able to know when to listen to our ego and when to just thank ego for its input, and like do the thing anyways.